Hello and welcome to All That Cricket. Now let us look at New Zealand's chances of winning the World Cup. New Zealand always had a set of skilled players, but they never fulfilled their potential as a team. Why is it? I believe there are two things to it: tactical error and failed strategy. Now about strategy. You have to experience strategy to understand them, and then to discover how they can be most useful for you. This means practicing an approach long enough and often enough for its results to surface in a very consistent and a natural way. For example, learning a new skill, riding a bike, or playing a fiddle, or learning a new language. It takes time and the process is very long. So you need to have some patience in that. Here New Zealand is unable to keep a strategy consistently. They will try a new method or a new strategy and then leave it. Try again and leave it. Their method never stayed long enough to have its effect. Now tactical errors. New Zealand would lose game awareness in one situation. They would make tactical errors to regain momentum, especially in big tournaments. Here's a snapshot of how they failed to win after having control over the opponent.
World Cup 1975. New Zealand were blessed with the best opening batsman of that era, Glenn Turner, the most prolific one-day cricketer of the 70s. He finished the 1975 World Cup with 333 runs in 4 games only, with an amazing strike rate of 69. He continued his form in the next World Cup with 176 runs in 4 games. In 1979, New Zealand lost to England in semi-finals, chasing only 222 runs in 60 overs. All their big partnerships came while chasing, but none was there when they required the most. They fell short of 5 runs in the semi-finals. And then in 1983, they hardly had any big partnerships at the top order. All of them came down the order, and it was too late as they lost once again in the semi-finals by 11 runs to Pakistan, chasing a huge score of 261 runs. And in 1987, they were mauled by Sunil Gavaskar, who scored his only one-day 100. For New Zealand, Martin Crowe was the best performer, with a strike rate of 94. '92 World Cup. Along with Imran Khan, Martin Crowe's captaincy was the best in this competition. But sadly, he got injured and had to leave the field when New Zealand was on top in the semi-final against Pakistan. New Zealand lost momentum, and Pakistan, after being 4 for 140, fought back brilliantly to win what was the best game of the tournament. In 1996, World Cup came back in subcontinent. Now, not a single time in 6 games, New Zealand bowlers were able to bundle out their opponents, which is taking 10 wickets, including teams like UAE and Holland. Captain Lee Germont was the highest scorer, but he scored only 191 runs, when more than 20 batsmen in that tournament went past 200 runs. In the quarterfinals, Chris Harris played his best innings as a cricketer.
last World Cup, New Zealand's performance has tapered down. They're sliding down the hill in terms of winning games. Mainly, since 2010, they could win only 30% of their one-day matches. Why is it? Because majority of the one-day matches were played in subcontinent, and they could win only 1 out of 13 since 2010. Now, let us see the performance in subcontinent since the last World Cup.